You can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. Oh, my sweet, sweet child. Who do you think you are? You are the child of God, and that will never change. You had a dream. You misunderstood. You thought we were separate, but now you feel my voice and you can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. Oh, my sweet, sweet child. Who do you think you are? You are the child of God, and that can never change. You had a dream. You misunderstood. You thought we were separate, but now you hear my voice and you can relax now. Come on and open your eyes. Breathe deeply now. I am with you. Oh, my sweet, sweet child. Who do you think you are? You are the child of God, and that has never changed. Just a dream, eternity, divinity. Just a dream. Open your eyes and breathe. You are a child of God, and that will never change. You are what you are. You are eternity. You are divinity. Just a dream. Open your eyes and breathe. You are a child of God, and that has never changed. Just a dream, and that can never change.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joy, and welcome. I'll say welcome to this radiant, joyous Sunday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before I forget, I'm not sure that Stephen is in here, but he wanted me to mention if there's any folks who might help us do some clearing out in the gardens. We are hearing that our metal building pieces are arriving at the end of June. And we have a large concrete slab out there where they're going to dump the pieces. So we need a little help getting the leaves and so forth off. And as you know, Greg is part of that team, Stephen's part of that team, and they're always looking for people, not just every other Saturday, but any time that you want to come and beautify our gardens. I know that, I don't know if Susan's here today. She's done a beautiful job of putting flowers in our non-working fountain, but oh, there you are, Susan. Okay, good. And she helps take care of all of our little flowers in front of the chapel. And some of you might remember in November, around Thanksgiving last year, we did a celebration live service for Audra Riot. And there's another sampling piece of her estate coming to us. And one of the benches out there is from her children. So if you go out there and sit at our chapel, it's becoming like a meditation chapel. There's such a sweet energy, and we're putting a fountain out there, and we're going to put the butterfly attraction out there. So whenever you need to decompress from the busyness of life, we invite you to go out there and just sit. Just be still. So yesterday I had another opportunity. Somebody outside the church were saying goodbye to their mom, a celebration of life, and it was at Honeymoon Island at the beach. And you might notice my itty bitty, I was going to say butterfly. Hello, help me out. Ladybug. Ladybug. So she loved the ladybug. And what I was thinking as I was doing their service, sometimes we think we have to be magnanimous to make a difference in the world. But it's the little things that you do that make such a difference in someone's life. So don't feel that you have to reinvent something magnanimous. Just show up as who you are. Just show up as who you are. And then you might remember we just had that beautiful raffle fundraiser, and last night was our evening with the lightning bugs, and everybody got to take home a little lightning bug whose little butt lights up. So again, our joy, our laughter, our playfulness comes from just those moments that we create, and they don't have to be something enormous, huge, magnanimous. It just starts in that heart space. So with that, I want to open today with this very serious prayer. This is called the Warrior's Prayer. Dear Lord, help me to relax about insignificant details beginning tomorrow at 7:41:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Help me to consider people's feelings even if most of them are hypersensitive. Help me to take responsibility for the consequences of my actions, even though they are usually not my fault. Help me to try not to run everything, but if you need some help, ask me. Help me to be more laid back. Help me to do it exactly right. Help me to take things more seriously, especially laughter, parties, and dancing. Give me patience, and I mean right now. Help me not to be a perfectionist. Did I spell that correctly? Help me to finish everything I start. Help me to keep my mind on one thing. Oh, look, a bird, a squirrel, a fish. I had lunch, seriously, with Reverend Greg Barrett the other day, and I was telling him all the things I love to do here, and he said, and I just need that lamp, and I just need that parakeet. And I said, what are you trying to tell me? He said, you don't have to do it all. I said, okay, I have a whole team here. So help me to keep my mind on one thing. Help me to do only what I can and trust you for the rest. And would you mind putting that in writing? Keep me open to others' ideas, misguided though they may be. Help me follow established procedures. Hey, what's that? And help me slow down, not rush through everything I want to do. So I'm just going to open this time and this space with that gentle ease. That we truly know that light that is within each one of us supersedes anything else. When we tap in, we already know. We already know the truth of our own being, and we accept all of who we are. We imagine big things, and yet we know the beauty and serenity and ease and grace with doing the smallest of things that matter greatly. And for this, we open this day, this time together, and say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Amen.
Good morning. If you would please rise and stand as you are able for our congregational song this morning. You might remember it from the Muppets and John Denver. It's In Every One of Us by David Pomeranz.
It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, open your eyes and see. We can all have everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, you and I. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now. It's in every one of us, here and now.
Okay. Wow, this is the first time I've done these announcements where I was wearing the wireless mic, so this is going to be interesting because I'm always like so hyped up here, you know. It's like I can't wait to come up here and see you all out there. And it's just great to be here with everybody today. Last night I went to a Beach Boys tribute concert. And I was thinking this morning, good vibrations, right?
Absolutely.
That was the last song they played, and that's what we're all about. Good, great vibrations. So welcome everybody here today. It's good to see you. We are already planning a holistic health fair for November. See Gabriel Nelson if you want to be part of this event. Starting June 7th, Coffee with Unity. And that is going to be hosted by Bob Charpentier from 9 a.m. to 9:45 in the minister's office. So come have a cup of coffee or bring your favorite tea. Let's talk unity. Bob is providing the coffee. June 8th, Grief for Aging Seminar with Shabnam Hashemi.
So this little informal discussion group came out of a specific request, and we've decided to put up a sign-up sheet in the foyer. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do. And it's going to be Thursday, the 8th, from 1 to 3 in the sanctuary. And we're going to be discussing some tools about how we are facing our aging and the grief that we don't even know might go with that, of kind of losing some of the stuff we used to be able to do, our friends, or just the thought of, I don't want to age. Doesn't matter how old you are. So I hope you can join us, and I hope you can sign up, and if you would put on your contact information so we can contact you before to confirm, and also make sure if something happens, we can let you know. We look forward to seeing you, and then we'll see how it goes from there. And I am not charging anything for that, so a love donation to the church would be much appreciated. Thank you.
June 17th, Zen Pen with Revelin. Reverend Marilyn is leading a workshop on practices in conscious journaling. Come spend Saturday afternoon with us from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. to experience journaling in new and unique ways. Sign up in the foyer. Again, that's June 17th. Okay, and today's daily word is release. So I like to think of this when we move into the daily word as sort of the beginning of our meditation time. So go ahead and get really comfortable in your chair, put your feet on the ground. If you have anything on your lap, you might want to move it to your side or underneath your chair and just start to move into that really meditation place. Regular releasing keeps me in the flow of life. I have been changing as long as I've been alive, and I will continue to evolve as long as I live. I make room for the person I'm becoming through releasing, which is an important part of my spiritual practice. Just as I would not fill my closet with clothes that no longer fit, I do not fill my life with beliefs and ideas that no longer reflect who I am and who I'm becoming. Regular releasing creates space in my life for new things to come in. It's my way of remaining open to possibility, of welcoming new opportunities, of keeping myself in the flow of life. Releasing is also a powerful way to live my faith. I trust I am moving in the right direction and release items from my past easily and with gratitude for the role they played in my life. And from Psalms 51:10, create in me a clean heart, O God, and put a new and right spirit within me.
I am open, I am blessed in this place. I can rest in my heart. There's forgiveness. I am open. I am blessed. You are open.
You are open.
You are blessed.
You are blessed.
In this place.
In this place.
You can rest.
You can rest.
In your heart.
In your heart.
There's forgiveness. You are open.
You are open.
You are blessed. We are open.
We are open.
We are blessed.
We are blessed.
In this place.
In this place.
We can rest.
We can rest.
In our hearts, there's forgiveness. We are open.
We are open.
We are blessed. We are open.
We are open.
We are blessed.
The sound of the gong has been known through the ages to help people to restore, to replenish, and to be renewed. Right now, we're going to just invite into our sanctuary the universal energy flow that's always around us in every moment. That universal energy flow comes from the trees, the sunshine, the stars, the rain, the oceans, all of the elements of nature. We just invite all of those energies to be with us during this meditation here in the sanctuary. So right now, I just invite you to start to just watch your breath. Watch your inhale and watch your exhale. And as I start to play the gong, just continue to watch your breath. Welcome whatever comes, and just allow the gong to give you whatever it is that you need to receive today. As we start to gently return into this space, I invite you to take a moment in the silence to give thanks for all of the things that we are provided for this day and each day. The water that we drink, the sunshine, the earth that grows our food, and all of the elements of nature that work so perfectly together to give us what we need, in many instances without us even thinking about it. And to this we say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. So it is.
In the web of a spider, in the spout of a whale, in the stripe of a tiger, in the curve of a snail, there in each creation, in each grain of sand, there is order, there is a master plan. The light of God surrounds us, the power of God protects, the presence of God watches over us, and all is well. The love of God enfolds us. Wherever we are, God is. We are safe, we are cherished, and all is well. All is well. Would a loving father leave his children in the cold? Would the great Creator not value every soul? We all have a place here. In God we have a home. Each one touching others. We are not alone. The light of God surrounds us. The power of God protects. The presence of God watches over us, and all is well. The love of God enfolds us. Wherever we are, God is. We are safe, we are cherished, and all is well. All is well. God hears the whispers, God hears the cries. Infinite wisdom, all-seeing eyes. The light of God surrounds us. The power of God protects. The presence of God watches over us, and all is well. The love of God enfolds us. Wherever we are, God is. We are safe, we are cherished, and all is
We're going to do some Unity 101, but we have fabulous teachers, whether it is Charles Fillmore or Eric Butterworth, and the people that join us on stage, Jane, Joy, Greg, thank you. Thank you. I'm a big fan of the gong, and I think it's such an earthy symbol. I think that if you do any astrology at all, I've got 4 houses in Capricorn, and that means she is of the earth, solid foundation, the teacher. Boy, is she a teacher. Sometimes I surprise myself, but I do this with great heart when I'm engaged and looking at what to bring and create for you on a Sunday morning, and we are being encouraged to remind everybody, why are we even Unity? What makes us stand out or different from any other church that you could be at on Sunday morning or on the golf course, or maybe your church is out there in nature. So I want to bring some of the principles forward, and I'm going to start with, to thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. Actually, from Shakespeare, Hamlet. So I'm thinking, to thine own self be true. What does that mean? How do you take that in? To thine own self be true. It's a starting point. When we say put God first, it's not God as a superhuman out there in the world, but rather we must first go to speak every morning to our inner light, that which is already contained within us. And listening to the song and talking about that light, something that we're becoming, I might invite you to think about something we already are. Maybe we just haven't opened our consciousness to believe that we are already everything we need. That everything within us, if there's no separation from what we call a divine light, a divine presence, we are that presence. And I'm thinking about this in terms of kind of a perspective that we might look at. Imagine a potter. There's this slab of clay plopped down on that wheel, and that potter begins to imagine what this clay is going to look like. The hands are wet and forming, and maybe it becomes this beautiful vase. Maybe it's a figurine, but there's never any separation from the hands, the thought, the process, into creating whatever this magnificence is going to appear as in the outside world. That container, that information, that divine mind is guiding those hands that are forming you, that divine creation. And you cannot be separated from that thought, for at the end of the day, when the wheel is complete and quiet, and you are pure, beautiful formation of that divine mind, that expression, you cannot be unthought. You cannot be uncreated, for you are already everything that is in that divine mind. How does that feel? In Unity, we often say that we are like the waves of an ocean, that all the properties, all the existence of God, if we call that the ocean, you are the outpouring, outsourcing manifestation in the form of a wave, because every single wave has all the properties of that God mind, that divine presence, that principle that we talk about in Unity. And sometimes I have to sit with that and play with it as a visual in my mindset. There's not something out there that created me. There's not some super being out there that created you. We are all in the same sphere. We're all in that same energy of the divine. There is no separation. You cannot be unthought. You cannot be uncreated. So if that strain is working within all of us, then that means we are all connected. There can be no separation between me and you, or you and me coming from that same source. It's only when we turn off the flow that we feel separated. So then I went a bit further and I thought, all right, if I were at a fun house and it was the room of mirrors. Have y'all ever done that? And I think it's like the state fair that used to be famous for them. And you walk in, maybe that rickety bridge, and that wood doesn't feel so solid. And you walk in, and there's your image. Here you are, and there's your image, and there's your image, and there's your image. And each mirror reflects how many times? 20, 100? Like you never get to that final. But the original is right here. You did not change form, yet you are reflected universally. And I thought, so is that kind of how we could think about the God within us? There is no separation, yet we appear in many different facets. And some people have the illusion that those appearances are who we are. But the exact nature of our true being, of that divine presence, is our source of origination. Now, people sometimes say unity gets a little heady. I think we can. So how do we feel into understanding that very place, that centeredness from which we are all connected? And you might come up with something yourself about, if I were to go into my imagination right now and think and then let go. We talked about the tiniest of spaces. I love in the song that even talked about the nautilus shell of the snail. How tiny is that? How perfect is that? To recognize the smallest of things are part of the master plan. For we all started as little swimmers. We were pretty tiny. And we're all part of that master plan. That master plan that would have to start under a microscope. And yet we are all connected. It's sort of an immense feeling to think that we show up individually, we look individually, we are personified as we are molded, and we kind of step out of the potter's hands, if you will. And now we've got schools and churches and friends and family and McDonald's and Starbucks and all these different entities pour into us, and what we accept become the illusion of who we appear to be. And yet deep inside, that resonance of pure spirit, that vibration that connects us all is still moving, is still moving. Now we call God a constant source. Have you ever been in that place in your mindset that maybe you wonder, why were her prayers answered and mine were not? Why does it look like his life is so much better than mine? Now, you know, in Unity we say no comparisons, no covet thou other anything. But sometimes we're looking at this God beingness and we're going, I don't understand. I'm doing all the right things according to the teachings. And then I kind of hear this big shh. Peace, be still. It's not about them. It's about your divine connection. It's about that inner light that shines so bright. It only dims when you give it away, that someone else clouds your light. Because yours is constant. Yours is forever. And even though we change our mind about how we feel, the principle, the law, is constant. That energy we call God does not say, Marilyn, I will grant your prayer today, but not Kimmon's. There is no granting of anything. Rather, it is us coming into alignment with what we wish to see happen, what we want to feel in our own hearts and bodies. It's what we decide with that big universal yes behind us. So what we do want to do when we're in an act of prayer, rather than beseech or beg or call on something outside of ourselves, we go to that inner light. We claim it already done. We claim that that is already everything we need and that we align with what it is we're calling in. Because everything is already present for us. We have a great big universal flow that wants to say yes. And it depends on how we interpret it. There is no negativity out there except what we create, what we perceive to be outside of ourselves. For the teachings, all spiritual teachings have a thread. They have a common thread that innately we are born good because we are of that same source and energy field that is nothing but good. And then we got kicked out of the garden, became bad. We had to figure things out. We got introduced to other things and stimuli and other people and ideas. And we kind of forgot that we've always had that divine innateness of good running through us. I want to share from one of our beautiful teachers, Charles Fillmore. He says, laws, whether natural or artificial, are but the evidence of an unseen power. They are simply effects, and effects have no power in themselves except what we give them through our thoughts. So if I am to look over and tell Pam, well, your life seems to be working and mine is not, where is my thought? It's not on Pam's life that's working, it's on mine that is not. And yet in truth, my thoughts predict the outcome, the cause, the effect. What starts is how I walk through this journey. And I was sharing that with someone at the service yesterday, or maybe it was at our lightning bug thing, but it's like, it really isn't about the final destination. It is the joy of preparation. When I went over to Brad's house and we were heavily laden with barbecue and sauces and salads and all this, and I said, it's kind of like Christmas, you know? 30 days out, 60 days out, you got a list going on of all the presents you're going to buy for everybody. And then you're going to wrap the presents. And you're deciding what you're going to make for dinner and who's coming over and where are you traveling. And you're so excited, some of us. And then that actual day arrives and it's over quickly, like an hour. You ever prep a Thanksgiving dinner? All the stuff that goes with that? And you sit down and it's done in like 15 minutes. It's kind of a letdown at the end of it. And then it was you and I, it was us talking about it. And I said, so it is the journey. It is a getting there, the sharing, the ideas, the manifestation that we are creating from within us that's fun. If we choose it to be fun, it's a place that we are playing from. It is a place that we are creating from. If anyone ever took the artist's way, the creator begets the created. You cannot be separated from that. How joyous is it when the painter is in front of the canvas and that master imagination comes and what we see later? How about the one who does the beautiful photographs? We have Don in here today. The lightning strikes at the right and perfect time and he captures it and shares it with all of us. Because it's the imagination of the creator, and there is no separateness from us and that creator. It is our interpretation. It is our perception. It is our choice and how we want to live in that moment. Eric Butterworth says, you can never be separated from God because you are an expression of God, the very self-livingness of God. God cannot forsake you any more than gravity can forsake you. The true self of you, the Christ, the spiritual man, is the individualization of God. Now this is something I really love. Listen to this. You are the presence of God at the point where you are. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change anything. You right now are that very presence of God. Right now, the very presence of God. So then I could go into the other side of that and say, so if I weren't here, would God be here? What do you think? If God is constant, all power, all knowing, all presence, then maybe my form just takes another shape. But that's a conversation we've had. If you're not ready to come into the universal flow this day, does God stop? Or do you just change form and come in possibly at another time? So we open our minds, we open our hearts and say, what does this mean? God is principle. God is law. God is constant, unending, unchanging, unwavering. Our thoughts change, but the universal flow is constant, not choosing Didi over Fusayo, but supporting all of us equally. Charles Fillmore says, every act of man has its origin in thought, which is expressed into the phenomenal world from a mental center that is but a point of radiation for an energy that lies behind it. This morning I said we were going to have a radiant, glorious Sunday. What do you think of when you think of radiant? What does that word conjecture for you? Sun, sunshine, light, warmth, inclusiveness, lovingness, giving you like a mama bird wings. Like she's just going to bring you in and take care of you. For that radiant light shows us the way. And that is within all of us, all the time, even when we dim it just a little bit. Just a little bit. So Eric Butterworth says this. When Jesus says, God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth, he's actually saying, if we want peace, we must get into the spirit of peace and affirm the truth about it. In God, there is no variation. God does not harm anyone. God does not say yes to some and no to others. God does not choose one person over another. Rather, God is constant. God is principle. God is truth. God cannot be influenced. God is everywhere present, all-knowing, unlimited, and that presence is within us. Butterworth says, when you come to yourself, when you wake up, when you suddenly come alive to the within of you, the depths of you, then God is very real to you. Not a person separate from you, but as an added dimension unto you, a living presence ever with you. I was speaking to this young mother yesterday, and she had a little girl that was 6 and a little boy that was 18 months old, and it was her mom who's made her transition. And she relays this story to me. So the dad and the little girl were together at some point on the day of the mom's transition, and Daddy's trying to explain to the little girl and says, you know, Mommy's sad today because Mima has gone on, has moved on to another place. And the little girl's eyes got very thoughtful. And she said to her dad, you know, I'm sad too, but Mima wasn't having any fun anymore. And I thought, how simple were those words, and how perceptive was that child? That when we're ready to release our bodies, rather than those of us who may be stuck in hospitals or our bodies are changing form, and thank you, Shabnam, to dealing with the aging process, you know, things change form. And we accept to whatever level we do. And then how about the purity of the innocence of a child saying, you know what? Mima wasn't having fun anymore. Holding that beautiful perception, that highest good, that field of unconditional love. That when we're ready to make another choice, it's okay. And that it's really okay. For even in her little wisdom, there was still no separation. And the cute thing at the very end of this service, I've never seen done, she had a little container of ladybugs. And as she opened the ladybugs, they didn't want to leave the container. They were hanging out. But they started crawling on her. And I thought, ooh, is this little girl going to freak out? She went, oh, Grandma, Mima's tickling me. Look, Mima's tickling me. I didn't think it was appropriate to take a picture, but I love that. There's still no separation. That beautiful vibration, that energy field. Mima was all around. And she was just tickling her granddaughter. What a sweet thought to think that we are never separated from those we love. We just change form, just as they change form. That higher consciousness, that next level of the evolution of our own souls. Sometimes the sweetest and most honoring thing I can do is participate with a family as they're saying goodbye to a loved one. So I want to share. You may heighten your awareness of God within you. You may grow your consciousness to better understand that you and God are never separate. I invite you to close your eyes as I read a new version of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, for the love that resides in my heart, hallowed be thy name, in the name of all that is holy. Thy kingdom come, the ultimate knowing within. Thy will be done. As I so speaketh brings forth the truth. On earth as it is in heaven, in the tangible and the intangible. Give us this day our daily bread, as thought comes forth this divine expression. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. That means we are free from any encumbrances. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. May we remember our absolute good. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. For this connection to Source, we are forever and ever grateful. And so it is. Amen. Amen.
Let's stand together. Let's make a new day. Let's lift up each other and find a new way. Tomorrow's upon us. The future is here. Let's love one another and release all our fears and be peace, expressing in the world. Be the joy and the light of the Spirit, expressing in the world. Expressing in the world. Be the hope and the heart of the Spirit, expressing in the world. Make a commitment and open your heart. Reach for another and make a new start. God lights the way now.
God lights the way now.
Our pathway is clear.
Our pathway is clear.
Loving each other.
Loving each other
eliminates fear and be peace, expressing in the world. Be the joy and the light of the Spirit, expressing in the world. And be joy, expressing in the world. Be the hope and the heart of the Spirit, expressing in the world. Expressing in the world. Expressing in the world.
So Jane's getting ready to leave us for the summer because she travels. But we want to bless her. So can I invite all of y'all to stand and rub your hands together? We didn't get to do it at Easter because she got COVID, but we did take her a bunch of roses. So Jane, will you come up here in the front and let all of us love on you till you come back in the fall? And she's coming back in the fall. Okay, good. So if you'll rub your hands together and hold them out and repeat after me. Jane, we bless you. Jane, we bless you. Jane, we appreciate you. And Jane, we behold the Christ in you. We love you, we love you, we really, really love you. Mwah! Thank you. Now for the prayer for protection.
Y'all feeling some good vibrations? All right, wonderful. Children, no? All right, I guess they're out there walking in the light and the outdoor light. So send them some blessings there. I know, I'm sure they had a great day. So let's go ahead and join together in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. We'll go ahead and there we go.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant